since I started writing, I always thought that all playwrights, when they write, they already know what the play looks like when it's staged. No? So in my case, it has always been. I write a dialogue, I write a scene, I write a place for the story to unfold. And from the moment that I write it, I already know how it looks like. So in my mind, which is sometimes not very good, because in my mind, the play is always perfect. When in fact, the world where the play is going to live is not perfect at all. So sometimes what I see when I let another person direct the play is not actually what I saw in my mind. And sometimes it's a good thing, meaning to say that they saw something that I did not see, or sometimes it's a bad thing when the director sees something that is not really what I wanted the play to look like. No, in my practice, in my playwriting practice, I always make sure that I am in the rehearsals, because a very good director, one who is confident about himself, will always want to involve the playwright in rehearsals. All the plays, I think, except one or two, I've always been in rehearsals. I've always been with the director. But I remember there was one director who came to me and said, I don't know how to direct this particular scene, because I don't know, he didn't, I don't know why he didn't see the scene as I wrote it. So I went to the rehearsals and he said, can you show us how you would stage this scene? And I said, oh, there's a hole in the middle, and then he's just coming out of the hole. And then he said, oo nga no, parang pag dinagay ko yung hole dyan, it will all make sense. So I said, okay, that's it. Let's put a hole in the middle and then work it from there. And then he was able to figure it out. I was a scholar at the Philippine High School for the Arts. We didn't have a choice. The first year people would take lessons in stage management. The second year people would take lessons in acting. The third year people would take lessons in directing. And the fourth year people would take lessons in playwriting. So maybe it was a process that I went through, but my experience led me to a life in the theater that had something to do with a little bit of performing and a lot of writing, and also a bit of directing, which I miss. But of course, I know why I did not pursue too much directing, because it's time consuming, and you have to deal with so many people. You have to deal with actors, you have to deal with people who will support you backstage, the designer and stuff like that. And during my college years, I didn't have too much time, because I had, I was a student. I was a student and not really a student of theater. So, you know what? Writing for screenplay and writing for stage, except for the cinematic part, more and more it's becoming the same. That's what I realized, because I've been sort of cheating the things that I've been writing for the past couple of years. I write them in my head as movies, except for the cinematic part, and I say this is for the theater. But I realized that if I converted them into a movie or a film script, it would just take a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of shortening of the scenes, and it will become a screenplay. Sometimes I watch a play and it's the first line, and I sigh. Parang, I sigh in disbelief. I mean, what? That is your first line? And Ding Dong always looks at me during those moments and he says, oh, tingnan niyo si Nick, tingnan niyo kung ano sasabihin niya sa first line. Because, parang, why did you make it happen? How could you disrespect your your actors by letting them have this as your first line. I mean, I can understand the succeeding line, but the first line is very important. That's the as a writer, that's the first thing that gets rewritten in my page all the time. The second one is the last line. Because if you get the first line correct and the last line correct, the middle part will more or less, they will just ramble in the middle, but it's the first line that gets the audience to hook onto your play, and it's the last line that they will get before they, as a way of remembering your play before they exit the stage.